Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
While many businesses cite cybersecurity as one of the major threats facing them today, only a few are adequately prepared for the harsh consequences of a cyber attack. One company that is looking to help Irish and UK businesses in this area is ITUS Secure Technologies. Clare Ryan is its co-founder and CEO, and she joins us now to tell us about its service and how it is partnering with insurance companies to help small businesses. But Clare, I'd like to start the interview by finding out about your own career and in particular your experience of working in higher education.
Oh, thanks for having me, Karl. So I have a strange background. I don't have a cybersecurity academic background per se. I started off life as a scientist, learning how to diagnose cancers, and did a PhD in the development of the brain. And then went to work on in STEM outreach for both of the higher education institutes in Northern Ireland, reaching out to first-generation university goers to try and change that cycle of underdevelopment and underachievement and get them into university. So that's kind of my background initially in higher education.
And where did the idea for ITUS Secure Technologies come from?
Really, I had a strange career change in 2018, and it was just around the time that GDPR was becoming very mainstream. And because I had worked quite a lot with data in higher education and with vulnerable groups, I found the whole idea of cybersecurity around managing data really, really easy to understand. But small businesses in particular really struggled with it. And initially, I came out with the idea of bridging that gap, helping them to deal with the security side of protecting the data that they held. And initially we spun up as a managed service company, and that's where we came from.
Was it a very conscious decision to deliver your service offering specifically to small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that kind of goes back to my ethos in higher education. I always champion the underdog, shall we say, and small businesses find cybersecurity difficult. They don't really have the same resources in terms of how they can approach it in protecting their businesses. And I wanted to create a level playing field because for a small business, when they have a cyber incident and they suffer financial impact because of that, normally a member of staff is laid off. The business doesn't have the money in reserve to kind of support that. So I wanted to change that and specifically work with smaller businesses.
And in general, do small businesses possess the necessary financial resources to deal with the costly repercussions of a cyber attack?
The vast majority of small businesses don't, purely because they don't understand how crippling a cyber incident can be. There is obviously downtime when they experience it, but then there is the financial loss in terms of covering your staff salaries and still meeting the needs of your customers, and the reputational damage that goes along with cyber incidents where sometimes, unfortunately, customers will no longer work with you. So a lot of small businesses don't have a spare 50,000 or 100,000 in the bank dedicated to cyber, and that's where the challenge really comes into play for them.
So talk to us about ITUS Protect and how it helps your clients to manage their cyber security risks.
Well, just because small businesses don't have reserves doesn't mean that they neglect cyber security on the whole. A lot of people do actually invest in their cyber security, but sometimes they invest in an incorrect way that doesn't give them the level of protection that they need. So our product, ITUS Protect, helps them to manage their cyber risks. So they're able to see high-risk areas inside their organisation, what works well and what doesn't, and where best placed to put that at a little bit of additional financial resource to give them the best security out the other end of it.
And are there many small businesses that hold a cyber insurance policy, and how is ITUS Protect viewed by the insurance market?
Yeah, so there's not enough small businesses that are actually transferring that residual risk for cyber onto an insurance policy. Unfortunately, a lot of people see it as a nice to have and not an essential to have, despite cyber being one of the top 3 business risks that they face. There's around 11% in the UK and Ireland who actually have a cyber insurance policy dedicated to cyber. And unfortunately, for many businesses, when they have an incident, that's the first time they realise they don't have any insurance in place with it. Now, we've chatted to a number of insurance providers right across the board here in the UK and in Ireland as well. And many of them are really excited by what we're doing because we're able to provide immutable data, so data bespoke to each small business from inside that small business, and help them to give them the best information to write the policies at the best price.
Are those insurance providers willing to market this product to their clients, or indeed provide their own clients with a discount if they have it?
Yes, certainly that has been the direction that they've led us in. There's 2 options on the table that a number of insurance providers have chatted about, either giving a discount on the cost of the premium if you use our product to help you manage and prevent a cyber incident from occurring, or indeed giving you higher liability cover for the same price. So for many people, instead of just having a 1 million policy, you could have cover for 2 or 3 million, which is really incentivising depending on the sector that you're in.
And talk to us about the traction that you've gained already in the Irish market with the product.
Yes, so our product, believe it or not, was just actually launched to the wider market at the end of 2024. So we're onboarding new customers regularly in that. We've had really good traction in the manufacturing and the legal sector, actually, where I suppose clients are more familiar with risk and are naturally drawn towards having cyber insurance policies in place. So we're looking forward to 2025, and we have got strong ambitions here to get the number of users growing month by month on our product as well.
And how are you going to market the product in the year ahead?
So we've got various channels that are out there. We're drawing together a partnership with the Law Society and doing some events with them, and some strategic partnerships with manufacturing industry as well. We regularly be back and forward to the UK. Maybe your listeners are familiar that actually all of the cyber insurance is underwritten through London, so it's a very strategic place. And we're linking in with managed service providers as well. So your general IT provider who feeds into your small business. So all you have to do is simply ask or find us on the web.
Cybersecurity is a universal problem, which means that there's significant potential for international expansion with ITUS Secure Technologies. So what inroads has the business made in that regard?
Yeah, so it's an interesting point. You're absolutely right. Cyber crosses all trajectories and all geographical boundaries. We're actually off on a trade mission now to Boston and New York. So we're looking forward to starting to formulate more partnerships within those particular regions as well. The US market in particular is of interest to us, given that so much cyber insurance is underwritten there in the UK. 90% of all organisations are in the US. 90% of all organisations will have a cyber policy in the US. So they very much lead on what's happening in the cyber insurance market, and then it ripples on through then into the European market after that.
And talk to us about ITUS Protect, how it works and the technology that underpins it.
Yeah, so essentially ITUS Protect is a web application. So we interact with security controls that are installed inside your business. So whichever products you're choosing to use, our software talks to those and pulls information on the threats and vulnerabilities that your organisation is facing. And then we guide you on how best to remediate those. So it doesn't matter which products you use. It doesn't matter who your IT provider is. We're able to give you an indication of the level of risk and help you to guide to remediate it to prevent the cyber incident from occurring. And
in terms of the insurers themselves, what testing have they put this product through?
So at the minute, we're chatting with a number of cyber insurance providers. So traditionally, when you take out a cyber insurance policy, you self-disclose the level of risk inside your business. So you complete a paper-based questionnaire. So at the minute, they're starting to look at the data from our own particular product and comparing it to that's disclosed previously by policy owners to determine the difference in underwriting that would have taken place had they had access to our data to begin with.
And how do you stay one step ahead of hackers?
That's a difficult challenge. I'm not so sure that any security product is ever truly one step ahead. I think for most cybersecurity products, it's important to focus on resilience rather than prevention. So how quickly you can have an organisation to recover from a cyber incident. I think all organisations at some point have a cyber incident. What makes a difference is how quickly you're able to identify that and to repair the damage that has been caused.
And how long could a small business take to recover after a cyber incident if they had your product in place?
Well, our product will indicate to them areas of weakness or vulnerabilities within their network, with the idea being that we would guide them on how to take corrective action to prevent that incident from occurring in the first place. So what we would hope is that we would reduce the number of incidents by more than 50% for small businesses.
And how beneficial has Enterprise Ireland been to you in assisting your entry into the UK market?
Enterprise Ireland have actually been phenomenal in working with us. They have a very strong cybersecurity team, and they've made really strong introductions into the London market and the Manchester market in particular for us. And that's where we're beginning to really grow our presence. So it's great to have people who can do those warm introductions and a soft landing space whenever you're entering a new market like the UK.
And ITUS Secure Technologies is looking to secure £1 million in funding from UK investors. How long will this funding round last, and how will the investment be used?
So the investment will be used to grow our team to enable us to begin to really scale. And we anticipate that investment round will last us for up to 12 months. And then we'll undertake a full Series A then after that, enabling us then to really scale with the insurance providers behind us.
And what's your strategy to acquire this investment?
We have had a number of VC conversations and we've had really strong interest from them. In fact, we've had interest from the UK and from all our VCs across Europe as well. So we hope to open the round now in June of 2025 and have it closed out by the end of 2025.
What are the main recommendations that your product is making from the businesses that are currently using it?
Some of the biggest insights that our product will actually give really focus around the basic parts of cyber hygiene. So, for instance, the number of global admins who are on a particular account. So a global admin has keys to the kingdom and they're quite highly sought after by bad actors. So we can identify those for a business owner. They can see, do those people need them? Even things basically like multi-factor authentication. You might have an internal policy where you say everyone must have multi-factor authentication for their email accounts, but actually 25% of the team don't have it activated. And without having that insight, you can't actually take corrective action. So those are the kind of things that we really focus on to help that business owner understand what's going on in the background in terms of their cybersecurity.
I could see why an insurance company would want to license the software from yourselves and to provide it to their clients free of charge.
Yeah, that's exactly the business model that we would like to go down with the insurers. So whenever you take out your policy, we believe it should be a free of charge additional service to help you as a small business owner prevent the cyber incident from occurring. Because ultimately for the insurer, if you can prevent the cyber incident, you ultimately prevent the claim from coming in to repair that. And that's very much where the insurers see this, working in partnership with them where they pay the licensing costs and the small business owner isn't out any additional funds but gets the benefit of the technology.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Clare Ryan from ITUS Secure Technologies, and I think we will hear a lot more about this business in the years to come.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.